Hey guys, coming back at you from the frozen tundra that is East Central Alberta, Canada. Coming at you back from the workshop, Toolman Tim here, where we create community, find freedom, promote preparedness, and share success. We are back. I've got an incredible episode tonight. I forgot to write down what the episode number was. I believe it's 144, so we'll go with that. How about that? I've got Dave and Mary on. If any of you guys stayed up with us, I don't know when it was, 4 or 5 months ago now. I met them through Float. We had the most wonderful time. Way too much bourbon was drank and way too many jokes and movie references were made. And I wanted to bring them back on. So here they are. Let's bring them on. I almost hit the remove button. There we are.
That would have been funny.
Hi,
everybody.
Hi.
We're doing really good.
Yeah, we are.
We're enjoying the summer. Doing summer stuff.
Are you guys scorching in the heat like the rest of the entire continent has been?
Yeah,
I don't think it's bad, but it is.
Yeah,
it has been
upper 80s.
intense.
You know,
yeah.
Working in a shop that can be pretty intense, but
Humid.
being out in the breeze ain't too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The rain this evening brought cooler temperatures, and I mean I like maybe still low 80s, but still it was pretty hot today. But it was nice. We were near a pool, so we were okay.
So we first met through Float, right? I think Dave maybe was looking at some of my generator posts or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Is that right? Or did we?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because floats a lot of political stuff, you know, and it kind of gets heavy after a while. And I'm just like, I said to you, I'm like, I like your posts, you know, it's something different. I get to learn a little bit about home improvement and little life hacks and stuff like that. And it was nice, refreshing. And I'm like, hey, why don't you come on the show? And he did, and it was great. We had a good time.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. And I always seen you guys posting, and I'm like, Liberty Late Night. Well, if they have the word Liberty in their title, then I'm thinking either Mary, whom I didn't know her name at the moment, was named Liberty, or you guys were freedom-minded. So I guess I did okay.
Right.
Yeah, we're like the U.S.A. of the freedom movement. We try not to get too political, but we just kind of entertainment, you know.
Absolutely.
For the people who are.
Hang out. I like to think of us as the Cheers, you know, of late night shows. Everybody, you know, after a long day of being on the internet,
we get to know our viewers.
Come hang out, make good friends.
Absolutely. I had more compliments and more comments about the time I was with you guys. Like Dan was on. He was a guy from my group here, and he said he stayed up drinking the whole time we were on because we ended up over. Didn't we? Didn't you guys have an after party on Float or something like that?
Oh my gosh, we did. Oh
yeah,
my
that's
gosh.
usually when it gets pretty ugly.
Yeah.
And you came on the Zoom call. Oh my gosh, we had that big, huge Zoom call.
That was fun. I can promise you I won't be doing that tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So for anybody who, I might as well get it out of the way now because I sound like a 14-year-old boy. And it's simply because the Rona finally caught me. So here I am. You guys are very brave for coming on with me while I have COVID. Because
I should have brought my mask.
I'll talk like this. There we go.
On my drink.
Because we really haven't figured out yet whether, if I keep going, they'll probably demonetize this video. So we're all.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get one of those little notices at the bottom. Sorry about that.
This information, you know. So.
Misinformation. Yeah.
A while back, I had an idea with my community the main reason I started my podcast was because I kind of got pigeonholed. So on YouTube, my big money maker is tool reviews, right? But I'm also a voluntarist or an anarchist, and I'm also, you know, a movie lover and a whole bunch of other things. So I said, if I want to, you know, not feel burnout making content, I need to have an outlet to, you know, so yeah. Tim in a hoodie there. Sorry. Yeah. So anyway, I ended up deciding I need to do this podcast so I can talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. And it ended up being okay. And sometimes we talk about movies. We have a post-apocalyptic book club, which is a lot of fun. And do you guys know the Going Home book series? If you don't, it's okay.
No.
I don't think I do.
The author, his pen name is A American or Angry American. Okay. His real name's Chris Weatherman. We had him on the show. I don't know, a couple months ago. It was a pretty big get for us. And so anyway, we wanted to do a movie night, and then I discovered, hey, you guys do movie nights. And so I wanted to completely copy it, which I've never done yet, but maybe someday.
That's
yeah.
We didn't
So I'm like, man.
It's a little illegal. It's fine though.
Yeah. So, okay. Let's go way back to my birthday in 1996 when Mom got me my very first VCR. And they had a VCR in the living room. And I discovered that if you hooked up 2 VCRs, you could dub over Street Fighter onto a blank VHS. And that was my I'm sure the statute of limitations has passed. And then in my dorm room, I found the joys of, I think it was the Nutella network first, and then it was Napster right after that. And when Napster came out, oh my God. Yeah. And so it was what it was, right?
I was always Frostware. That's the one I used.
Oh, yes, I remember that. They were all,
felt a little more underground.
Dirty though.
But then, you download a 5 gigabyte song, and next thing you know, you ruin the family computer.
Yeah.
Tim, were you looking at porn again? No, I swear, I was trying to get Lord of the Rings to download, and it wouldn't, And I loved the DivX files. You could get them. There were 700 megs, and they would fit just on a CD-ROM. And, if you squinted right and you ignored the guy with his head up, just used to get them that was recorded. Yeah. And I remember,
good
you guys,
times.
We're the pioneers,
Well, I hear those guys talk about when they used to like phone freak and stuff back in the early 80s.
Oh, man.
And it was before my time, like, unless I was doing it with like one of those teleplay phones, the little ones you ring the bells and they, the blue and red ones. Fisher Price, that's it. Yeah.
You push along. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
And I think, and I remember when Mom and Dad first got high-speed internet, my first movie download was attempted to be Gladiator, and I went to download it, and it was like ETA 4.5 months or something. I'm like, so much for high-speed internet,
Right.
My parents were out in the sticks, so they never had that. So it was always the AOL discs, So you're sitting there waiting for an image to load.
In the dial-up.
I hope your parents don't come in before the image is done loading.
Oh, well, you know what? Since this is where our conversations always go. So I had a friend in high school. When he first got dial-up internet, his family owned a Chinese restaurant. He was a rather eccentric dude. And he said, you got to come in here and see this. And he said he'd spent 3 weeks downloading all these images, and he took the head off the male performer and put his face into all of them.
Well, that's pretty advanced. Wow.
That is advanced.
This was in like 96, 97.
Yeah, that's
something
really
like
good.
That.
Because I remember I got my first digital camera, and the first thing I did was I took a picture of my dad, and then I ran to the computer, put it on the computer, and just made his head slightly bigger. And then showed him the picture, and he didn't know like this kind of stuff was possible. And he looks at it, he's like, "I'm never wearing that shirt again."
That's what makes my head big.
What was your first digital camera?
I don't even know. I think I remember it being an Olympus. Yeah, it's under the stairs somewhere there. I don't throw any tech away. I still have all my floppies, and every computer I've ever had is under there.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm gonna go through there and clean off those hard drives someday.
I won't ask Mary, but Dave, how old are you?
I'm 43.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I'm 41. So we're right.
Middle.
Yes. Okay. Cool. I wouldn't ask Mary, but I was pretty sure we must be on the same wavelength there. So yeah. Did you ever have a Palm Pilot?
Yep.
You just brought that up the other night.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because at the shop, like nobody had smartphones yet, and so I'd be sitting at my machine with my Palm Pilot, playing like some kind of generic game or something, doing a spreadsheet or something.
Yep.
I was like ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Sorry guys, I did my 4-year university from 99 to 2003. Somebody said we're all just kids.
That's Carl.
That's Carl.
Okay.
Carl, old man.
I was making
sure.
Yeah,
I brought up the Twitch.
Okay, cool. Oh,
I figured some of my friends would follow us over.
Yeah, so I had do you remember Handspring Visor? They were the guys from Palm Left, and they're basically the exact same as a Palm Pilot, but they had a little cartridge, and they had like a cell phone or an MP3 you could slide into it just at the very end of Palm Pilot. So anyway, I was one of the cool guys in college. I had the Palm Pilot and the fold-out keyboard. So it folded down to like a keyboard size, or to a Palm Pilot size, and then I'd go in like the big geek I am, and I'd unfold it and sit there and take notes, and then ignore them,
Right. Look at me.
I still haven't figured out how to like keep notes on even a phone now. It's like I need a paper and pen to write things because I forget stuff all the time. I have a notepad on there, but I never use it.
I use it, and then it just goes into the ether. Like I've got 8,000 notes on my phone. I keep show notes in there. Like I have a whole folder called YouTube. And so anytime I have an idea for a live stream, whatever, I just put, or sometimes I'll turn the radio off while I'm driving for an hour and just randomly blurt out things and, sometimes I get my best show ideas, right? But you know what? I still use, I don't have it here, but a book to put my actual important stuff in.
That's why I feel like that's the only thing I'm going to look through, because I do. We have a show chat just between me and her where we just throw out an idea. If we have one, we chat it to each other. And then I have a memo on my phone. And then when I sit down to set up the show, I just forget to check any of that. And I'm just like, what am I going to do tonight?
I always just say to myself, I'll remember that. I don't have to write that down. And then I never remember. No.
No.
But I'm like, this time,
I'm going to remember
this
this
one
is
such a good idea. There's no possible way I could forget it.
For whatever reason, I'll remember them in the middle of the night. If I wake up, I'll be like, oh, yeah, I have some good ones sometimes. But, But then there's other times, if I wait 10 seconds while I'm driving, gone, just like that. And I'm like, do I have fucking Alzheimer's or something? Like, what is wrong with me?
It's like when I'm doing dishes, I'm just staring out the window and just,
ideas.
And I mean, I don't even know. Sometimes I'm zoning out. My neighbors could be outside and I wouldn't even know because I'm just zoning and just thinking about other stuff, staring out the window. And I'm like, that's a good idea. I'll write that down when I'm done. And then when I'm done, I forget that I even had an idea. So
the creative process is funny that way. Hey,
it is.
I don't, like I couldn't paint a picture. Somebody asked me if I played any instruments one time, and I said cassette tapes. That's all I could play. And or mini disc. Did you ever have a mini disc player? They were like mini CDs in a cartridge.
No.
Okay. No.
I had
I
one
probably
of them.
wanted one.
It was great. I used some of my student loan money to buy one.
Oh, those were the best, man. I remember going to college, or I went to a business school, but they're just like, how much money do you need? And I'm like, how much can I get? I don't know. This isn't real money. You're just going to hand me money. I'm going to sign something. I need living expenses.
I bought a brand new PC in 2003. I think it was like 13. Oh yeah, no, I don't want to say this, but like $1,300 at the time with student loan money, and I had to make sure it had a FireWire connection in it at that time. I was like, this has got to be important. This is the future, and I never used it. So, but it did have a TV capture card that I recorded and may or may not have uploaded TV shows with. But.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Yeah, I've done those for a little while.
I love it. I love it all. It's fun. I mean, Dave's my tech guy, so I'm just like, what is this?
Yeah, I've always been a little bit ahead of the curve. And then as I've gotten older, I'm like, nope, not doing that. I'm going to stick with what I know. I'm that old guy now where it's like,
he had,
I don't need a Fire Stick. I got a PC hooked up to my TV.
He had our PC hooked up to our tube TV. Before flat screens were a thing. And this was probably 2003, I think. So we were living downtown. And
you try to bring up a browser, you can't read anything. There's no resolution.
It, but, it was
but you can play video.
It was still neat. It was still pretty cool. But now we do still have a PC hooked up to our actual TV upstairs now, and the kids,
Yeah.
This is Martinson family from Manitoba. They're in here quite often. So that's the idea. I'm going to change this world. Oh, look, a shiny penny.
That's a squirrel.
It'd be a nickel up here in Canada now because we don't have pennies.
Oh, yeah. I think we're getting rid of pennies too.
Oh, are we?
I don't know. I think one of the kids said something about it.
That's funny though, because that's the truth. Like,
yep,
you're just going along and
what a great idea, and then another idea comes and another idea. And
I did that in Walmart the other day. I was heading towards the registers and I'm like, oh yeah, I got to go get. And then I started walking towards the aisle I had to go to. And then something else came in my mind, and then I'm like, "Where the hell am I going?"
Yeah, like every time I come in the basement, I'm like, "Why am I down
I'm
here?"
hoping I'll know by the time I get to the aisle that I need to get to.
I really hope it gets better, but I don't think it will. I think it's just part of. I don't know. It is
not with my lifestyle.
Like, my mother called me earlier, and she's like, "My phone's not working. It's acting up." And I said, "Did you try restarting it?" Well, no.
Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again?
And it almost always works.
Yep.
I don't know if Becky's watching, but they called me the other day to the daycare. She said, our keyboard isn't working. I said, okay, I'll come and check. So I never asked, but I went and restarted the computer. Keyboard's working. It's just some kind of weird glitch, right? I don't know. But yeah, it was funny.
That's like that that IT show, right?
Yeah, that's I was quoting.
What the
IT crowd?
Yeah, I I used to watch that years ago, but I couldn't quote it now. I am a big British comedy fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
been a while since
that
we've
one
seen
dude
it.
had a holster for his little spray bottle because his ear would get
Oh
hot.
my gosh. Okay, so my ears sometimes turn red, and I was like, "Oh, this guy has
He
it
gets
down.
it.
He
Yeah.
gets it. He has
Just-
little spray bottles, spritz the red ear."
That show was ahead of its time.
Yeah,
It's really good.
yeah.
One of
It's
them
really, really good.
wasn't one of them ended up into Takeda. I can't pronounce his name. You know, oh my God, We Live in the Shadows or something like that. You know, he just directed the new Thor movie. So go back and back and back.
Okay.
He did the werewolf
Yeah.
vampire movie. It was a big kind of hit. Anyway, doesn't matter. But I think
the little steamy teen romance werewolf.
no, it was a comedy,
Vampire
like a. It
Oh,
was really, really well received. I think it's what got him. What we do in the shadows, or I can't remember anyway. But that's what got him the first Thor movie he did. And
Wow.
I think one of the guys works for him sometimes now, but I'm not sure.
Nice. That's great. I can't remember. When
See, I knew Becky'd be watching. She goes,
There. Oh, hi.
we just had our family photos done in front of a canola field, and they turned out really, really good. So
Oh,
good.
nice.
Yeah, it was cool. We had mom and dad out here, and yeah, it was kind of cool.
just realized
that
I'm on
is so
YouTube as
great.
Chris, my kid.
Oh.
I'm gonna say hi anyways.
Yeah, say hi. I like doing that. I do that all the time, you know. Somebody said I used to be a steamy teen. Oh boy.
Oh boy, that's so
Oh,
nice.
swole, man,
Oh,
nice
there
you
profile picture.
Hey,
That is awesome.
Ryan.
Oh, actually, I could do that.
Can you do the button?
Where's it at?
Hey,
There you go. See, I need to learn how to do. You guys have got like the live
I
stream
love
game
I love
going.
the tech end.
Dave
It's like
loves
What I lack in talent as being an actual entertainer, I make up for with this.
He absolutely loves to do this stuff, and then I just love talking with people. So I think we make a pretty good team.
Yeah, she carries conversation. I run the show.
It's fun.
Yep, I totally get that. I do. I kind of like to talk sometimes too, even when I'm like, I can't give up the chance to talk to you guys today, you know?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
so
I don't know how
much.
you're doing it, man. When we had the Rona, like we tried doing a show, and I think our show was like 15 minutes long.
the
We're like,
shortest
we
show
committed to
we've
coming
ever
on.
done.
Hi guys. All
I
right, we gotta
remember
go.
that. Yeah. Oh, that's all right.
Like, I have to go now.
So this should be interesting then, because we're all roughly the same age. So I'm guessing some of our favorite movies might be similar.
Oh,
I'm excited.
I don't know. Let's start. I don't know. Let's pick a category. How about Christmas comedy? That'll be an easy one. What's your
Easy.
favorite Christmas comedy? 1, 2, 3.
National
Ready?
Animation.
Oh, there we go.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm just
I said
kidding.
the first part, you said the second part.
Yeah.
So
I was just quoting that today. Actually, you can quote that movie all the time.
Yeah,
constantly,
and every
in
time
any
you watch it, you
situation.
see something else new.
yes, have you ever seen, when he unleashes the tree in the house, he cuts the string,
Yes.
and when the window gets smashed out, if you pay really close attention, you can see a 2x4 attached to that limb that goes through the window. Somebody
No.
pushing
Oh.
it through. Yep.
What? I
neat.
never
Yep.
saw that.
And
That's
What?
when they are driving to the tree lot, those were after shoots, and they did that in the height of California summer, and so you can see the heat shimmering off the pavement.
Oh, neat.
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
did not know that. I don't know. And I've been watching that with my family every year for Christmas. It was always, I'm an only child, and it was me and my mom and dad. And at home, Christmas morning, we'd get up, open presents. And then around 1:00, we'd go to my family, extended family. My aunt would have a big party and have all the other aunts, uncles, cousins hang out there. And that was always the movie that was on, while everybody's eating and chatting. And that movie was always.
Plus, it always reminded me of going to your family functions, because like when the parents first show up and they're walking towards the door, and you just hear this murmur, like it's louder and louder, and it's only 4 people, but it sounds like a riot outside.
Yeah.
And that's what it like going up the stairs to her family functions. As you're walking up the stairs, you start hearing all the voices and talking and yelling and
you open the
laughing.
door and it's just like,
And when Aunt Bethany shows up, and oh my God, we should do a whole episode on that sometime. But that actually, if you guys,
down clock.
oh yeah, damn it, Bethany, he gassed it. Or they, there's just I was trying to think of some of the other ones, but the show never. Well, the one I can't say lately is it's a bit nipply out because it's been the opposite of that.
That whole scene. That whole scene, and his laugh, like when he's like a log. I mean, not a log in the sense that you think I have a log. I mean, a Yule log.
Not a big log, It's like, 'tis the season to be merry. Well, that's my name. No shit.
Shit.
I got to take my sweater off. I'm just going to turn my camera off for a second here. So
Okay.
here, you guys go ahead.
There
you go. Right,
I do like your sweatshirt though. That
I can
looks
play
like
a commercial.
Nice a nice comfy sweatshirt.
It is,
That is
except
like
now that I'm getting the whatever that is, the opposite of being cold.
Yeah.
yes.
A little excited.
Yes,
yeah.
There we go. Oh yeah. So somebody wants to know if Toolman's in deep space. This is people joke about my background. They say I have like a
It's just that one star there.
head. Yeah, that's just the tip of the green paint. Hang on.
Oh,
There you go. That's the tip of the green paint that you can't see. That it's the only room I haven't redone in this house since we bought it. It's the most beautiful. I don't know if I can show you. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Yep.
That's what I love ruining the magic for us every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like ta-da!
Break that third wall or whatever.
Almost turned into an OnlyFans, somebody said. Yeah. So apparently we had a conversation the other day. So I was sitting around chatting with some of the women in my family, and apparently Feet Finder is a thing. You guys heard of it?
I did not, but I believe it though.
Yeah.
I
So
believe
they
it.
sent me a link. One of the women, I'm not even sure which one it was. And now every time I open my IM, there's like where it auto populates the links. That's the very first one that's
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
Feed Finder. Well, the
Well,
one time we found out that the hiccups were a thing.
Oh, I was on Twitter for like a couple days, and one time we were out having drinks. It was just date night, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna, just like," because nobody really followed me.
Yeah, it's your private public journal.
Yeah, I would just say anything I felt like saying, and so said something about having hiccups. Next thing I know, I'm getting all these messages from this guy asking me,
who evidently has like an alert set up for anytime anybody.
Yeah.
Oh
He's
my
like,
God.
How often is it happening? How can you tell me? Can you explain what is it like? Can you send me a video? I'm like, what? I'm having dinner with my husband. No.
I think I'm done with Twitter.
Yeah. Delete account.
I had no idea. Like I have a bunch of friends who are female content creators, and they'll one day, I think it was Amy Dingman. She has the Farmers Kind of Life. And she said something she posted, and all of a sudden her inbox was flooded with dick pics. And I said, "Is this a thing?" And she's like, "More than once." And so I started asking around, like, who in their right mind would ever, like, I wouldn't want some stranger to see my junk. You know what I mean? I don't understand.
I'm not even comfortable with looking at this.
I don't even know why you do that. Yeah. What is that? I'm like, oh, that's the man of my dreams right there.
Yeah. That's the one. That's the one I've been looking for.
He has silver personality I'm looking for. Yep. That's all personality.
I don't need to know anything else about him.
I'm all good.
Thankfully, thank you God. And I think it's because Dave and I are on together.
Yeah.
Like that.
Somehow she's dodged that up to this point.
That stuff,
I'm watching
my
you guys.
friends jokingly send pictures of like Dick Cheney, like
I was thinking like a package of Oscar Mayer wieners,
There you go.
Wiener pics.
Wiener pics.
It's because Dave ruins the buzz, You're like a buzz.
Happily,
kind of balances that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no like they don't feel any contention between us. They're like, this is a solid relationship.
It's like, damn it, Becky's a 10, I'm a 1, so together we're a 5. So
evens out. Thank her for her service.
Yeah. All right. So yes, Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Hey,
yes.
Anybody remember? Oh, I know. I was going to ask you. Do you ever remember watching it on TV with like the TV edits? I don't know if you ever.
I assume, but I have a terrible memory.
I have looked everywhere, and maybe it's one of them. I misremember things, but I'm sure we used to quote it. When Clark does his big rant, and he, Danny fucking.
Yeah.
So there was a TV edit of that where he changed it to like monkey and a few things. It was really funny, but I can't find it. It was so in Canada we always had ASN movie night, every night 7:00 they'd play a movie, and they were TV edits. So you get like Die Hard, and it'd be like
Yeah.
Yippee-ki-yay, nut and butter. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, right. Right.
and so we used to talk about it in high school. I remember, but I can't find. I'd love to find a copy of it.
That would be good.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen that one, but I have seen, movies. The TV
The TV
edits.
edits and
They're
stuff.
pretty hilarious.
And the ones they don't even try. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just awful. Oh yeah, here we go.
This movie has no business
I'd
being
like
on
to
TV.
try. I'd like to see that one. Yeah. Sometimes
Somebody
like,
said he knew I was in Canada.
Oh, yep.
Part of that is because mom and dad were around, so they're from Nova Scotia, and so I started. It takes 5 minutes for me to get that East Coast accent back. Like
Oh yeah.
no do to boot it out in the boat.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
See, down here, East Coast doesn't have an accent. We just speak properly.
No. I just feel like you don't have
You just
any
speak
kind of
properly with your finger out the window while you're driving.
There's a little bit of that. Yeah, they're terrible drivers.
Oh, it's awful.
I'm okay, but the rest are
It's everybody
worst.
else. They're the
I
worst.
think the same thing. I don't know. Everybody, they cut me off, and I'm the best driver, and I don't know.
Mhm.
But
Exactly.
so, how about your favorite movie? All-time favorite movie? You
Oh,
go
I
first.
gotta say hi to.
Okay.
And if you need to separate it with like drama and comedy, whatever. Yeah.
No, I know she has one.
I
All right.
I have to say, The Goonies is
That's
probably
cool.
my all-time favorite movie because I watched it so many times as a kid. I loved that movie so much, and I love other movies, but that one, it's just I know it by heart. I love introducing my kids to watching it now. It's so much fun, and it just, I don't know, it holds some special place. But I think that one, and I have another movie that, I don't know. Are you going to ask about like comfort movies? Because sometimes
I
say,
don't.
like,
Go ahead. You can say it now. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh no, but if you're going to ask, I'll save
Oh,
it. If you're going to ask
I don't
about
know.
that.
Whatever. Bring it. Go ahead.
Okay. But for some reason, Father of the Bride. That's
Oh, yeah,
I just love that movie so much.
I can see that for you.
Yeah. Another one. I don't know. It was just, I don't know. It was another one I watched when I was like 12, and I just loved that movie. So, but
Do you guys ever hear that theory that between the ages of 12 and 14, the movies you watch and the music you watch or listen to are the things that stick with you for the rest of your life?
Oh yeah.
I believe it though.
yeah,
Wired into your brain.
Mm-hmm. That
How about you?
explains a lot.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I forgot I was supposed to think about this.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Your favorite movie. Well, I don't know. I guess I thought it would.
Maybe
be
I
the
need you
movie,
to tell
but,
me what is it, and I'll tell you.
Well, I just don't want to just assume, but
No, because I'm curious. Because I'm coming up with the Lost.
they just did a remake of, not a remake, but
That's the same thing as you. Top Gun.
Okay.
I loved that when I was a kid. Like I wanted to be a fighter pilot. Like I loved the action and stuff. And then I grew up, and I'm like, I probably don't fit in an airplane. Because even though I'm sitting lower than Mary, I'm 6'4". So
okay. Yeah.
I sit low, but
I'm 6'2" and I'm a big dude all around. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's like I always wanted a Lamborghini, and I'm like, I probably wouldn't fit in that either.
Remember when Shaq bought one of those and tore up the seats so he could? All right.
Take out the seat.
Mine is Pulp Fiction. So
That is a good movie.
It was right at that perfect time. So when did it come out in 94? So I was 13, 14. And I fell in love with indie films, like those like the low budget indie stuff. And we spent all of the 90s watching that stuff. And I couldn't believe you could make a movie like that, And just the dialogue. I remember when he would, I read an interview years later, and Quentin Tarantino's like, I just put two people in a room and get them talking. And I'm like, if that's not fucking genius. But that movie, right? I probably watched it. The only one I've watched more than that would be Lampoons for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's probably our most watched
movie.
Like the movies that I always go back to, but I think it was because back in those days we were doing a lot of drugs. But Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Love Fear and Loathing.
Yeah,
yeah,
I love that movie.
What other kind of 90s hyper violent, hyper drug movies? Any of those? Because they were all my
hyper violent.
Like any of those, I just try. Well, you know what? I also had a big sci-fi edge, so I was a big Matrix fan. But go back a little further, Dark City. Did you guys ever see Dark City?
No.
Oh,
is that the one?
Awesome. 13th floor. I was a big like world in a world type, you know.
Okay.
Sounds fun.
Dark City was filmed on the same sets as The Matrix the year before The Matrix was filmed, and it's a very similar movie. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So if you ever want to, oh my, I be warned, it's a dark. Like I don't mean dark by subject matter; it's just dark. Like it's hard to see something.
Yeah.
Oh, Natural Born Killers. Oh, I love Natural.
That
Born
is
Killers.
good.
I'm gonna write down because obviously we're not
taking notes.
obviously
Natural
we're not
Born Killers. Yeah, that is. We just watched that on our movie night.
Yeah.
Not too long ago. Maybe
pretty dark.
Rodney Dangerfield and that was so good. I mean, in a bad way.
That's the worst.
Yeah, I know, right? And
it's weird to see him do that character.
Oh, good.
Like, but it also worked really good.
Yeah.
Like,
and Juliette Lewis, like to go from, you know, the little Griswold girl to whatever that was.
Yeah.
And now, so if Becky can, if she's still listening, she's in a new show. Something, it's like a soccer or girls football team that crash on a jungle island. It's kind of like horror. It's apparently really good. Becky loved it. Yeah. It's got Christina Ricci in it too. Of course, that was another. Do you remember her, Christina Ricci?
Yep.
Yeah. So she was in all those kind of B films, like Buffalo 66 was one, Love in a 45, a few of those kind of like deep cut 90s films, you know. But yeah.
Oh, that's great. We should check that out.
Yeah, it's I don't, if she's not listening, I'll get her to, or if somebody else knows what it is. I want to say it's like, I don't know, the Yellow Bees or something. I'm probably mistaken, but it was, yeah.
I was just talking to David, our oldest, he's 13, the other night. And for some reason, I brought up the movie Alive.
That's
my God, yes.
Yeah.
Jump into.
And I remember watching that with my dad.
I don't think I ever saw it.
We used to go, you did because I made you watch it one time.
Oh, okay.
Yellow Jackets, thank you. But I remember we would always go rent VHS, you know, we'd go to
we should talk about that. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like after church on Sunday, we'd go rent movies, a couple movies. I'd get to pick one. My dad would pick one or two, you know, and then we'd watch movies. And so I grew up watching a lot of like
80s
Sean
action.
Connery, you know, what's his
Rambo,
name?
Schwarzenegger.
Rambo, yeah.
I know what your dad likes. He anything
Steven
where they're shooting ups.
yeah, that kind of stuff. And he picked the movie Alive one time, and we were watching it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, they're eating people. This is like so edgy, you know? Like,
That's pretty much as edgy as you
but
get.
it's real, you know, it's based on a real
Platoon?
story.
Wow.
So for some reason, I decided to talk to my 13-year-old about it. I'm like, we should totally watch that show sometime.
Every time, once in a while, we get into some pretty heavy subjects with him. Just like,
So you guys were talking about your kids and movies. So the other night, and I'm sure you found this joy, but we were out traveling around, me and the girls, and my parents were in a hotel, and me and the girls, we went to Starbucks. And whatever struck me, we were sitting outside drinking our Frappuccinos, and I decided it was time to introduce my 12-year-old girls to Celebrity Jeopardy. From, you know, oh boy. Yeah. Oh yeah. We sat there, we were out on a public balcony watching those clips, and they're laughing. Oh, Charlotte just loves it. Now there's nothing better. Yes. Like, Trebek, I know you've got the penis mightier. Now bring it out here.
I'll take the rapist.
That's therapist. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's not what your mother said.
I can't remember the punchline, but your mother's a whore. I'll take famous titties for 400. Famous titles.
Oh my gosh, I'm dying. This is hilarious.
I love it. So Charlotte, we watched about 5 of them, and there's so many. And then when and some of them, of course, they don't get, like Catherine Zeta-Jones, of course, because like, you know, it was that very specific when she married with Michael, whatever, you know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, but Sean Connery is ageless. You know, his jokes are so stupid and so funny.
It was so good. Oh my gosh.
Are you guys horror fans at all? Oh, buddy. Becky and I are. Yeah. So what's your favorite horror film? And I got to think about this. I think I have a list on my phone, or what are some of your favorites?
I mean, I always have a soft spot for, like, you know, the Nightmare on Elm Street. That was the main one when I was a kid. I kind of dabbled in, you know, Friday the 13th and Halloween and stuff like that, but I never got the full picture of those. But Nightmare on Elm Street, like, me and my cousin would watch all of them, you know. And So I like those, but now it's kind of like I'm kind of watching a slasher as an adult is way different than watching a slasher as a teenager.
So
Because
talk
when you're
about
watching
that.
when you're a teenager, you're the victim. You're running around, you're scared. When you're the adult, that's your kid. It's
I
horrifying.
know, right? It doesn't. I know. Like, it's really funny.
It's different.
Did you guys watch the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Like, it's a hot pile of steaming dog shit. The movie sucks, but
yeah, we watched the remake of that one. I think.
The bus scene,
Violent, yeah.
the bus scene was fucking incredible. When they go in and all the social media influencers. It's the one on Netflix. It just came out a few months ago. Did you see that?
No,
one?
we did not see that one then.
Okay,
No.
so I won't ruin it, but I got to tell you, the movie is not worth watching except for a 10-minute scene when he steps into a bus full of social media influencers, and you can picture the rest of it. It is the most gory I have seen in any movie in a long time.
Really?
It was awesome. Oh, yeah. And it's Netflix, so they let him away with some stuff.
Wow.
This is one of Becky and I. So we might sound a bit like movie snobs. This is a French horror movie, but it was you need to watch it. It's that, like, it was the early 2000s ultra gory films, and it has a fun ending and stuff, but it's really good. Yeah, it's worth watching. Yeah.
Add it to the list.
Dave has added that. Yes.
I think anymore it's like I kind of want something to scare me. So like The Conjuring was pretty good. Oh my gosh,
The Conjuring was the scariest movie I've watched ever. I did not like that because it was too, like, that stuff freaks me out.
Yeah,
you know,
demons and ghosts and stuff like that. Like
after
your brain
that,
can almost think that's real, even though psychopaths are real.
Yeah.
It's like,
so speaking of psychopaths, Becky and I watched The Black Phone yesterday, and it's the new Ethan Hawke movie where he plays a child. So, like, none of this is spoilers, but he wears a creepy mask and he abducts boys in the late 70s. Yep. And it's really, it's a hard R, but it's really good. Like, it's really good. And it's almost not a horror movie. Like, it is, but I don't know. It's so, you watch it and you're like, that first half an hour is so gritty 70s, 80s. It just reminds you of, like, you know, kids beating each other up. And it was really good. Oh, and Becky said It Follows was one of the scariest she's ever seen too.
Oh,
I know I've seen it and I've heard people talk about it, but I don't think I've ever watched it.
Netflix
I
movie.
heard of that one. Not watching that one.
I'm putting it on there because I've heard about it a lot and I've never watched it. See, I get laid off from work for usually 3 months at a time. They do like a voluntary layoff where they're like, you don't have enough work. Senior guys can just go out, get unemployment, and come back. You're guaranteed your job to come back, and then they'll just send out the junior guys. So when I'm out like that, like I'll be up late, you know.
Oh yeah.
More. And so like she'd go do something else, she'd go to bed or something, and I just sit there by myself in a dark room and watch all the horror I can find on Netflix. You know.
Do you know one that really got me was 28 Days Later? Do you remember when that came out? The zombie movie?
One.
Yeah. Danny Boyle did it. He's the same guy that did Train Spotting. You remember that movie?
Oh,
the drug movie?
Yes.
Yeah, which was weird. But it was all filmed on, it was early digital video, so it's really grainy. There's no real high definition to it. That movie, I don't know, I watched it one afternoon, like a Sunday afternoon all by myself, and it just, man, it was creepy. I don't know, that one got me. I like that a lot.
But now, were those zombies were runners, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was kind of a new thing.
It was. It really introduced the fast, whatever you call them, creepy. Yeah.
I probably blacked that out.
Yeah, because up to that point, it's always like, and you just.
What's the one with the hills
leave the
have
house.
eyes? You know.
Oh, that was messed
just
up. The mutant
makes me
people.
never want to go drive through the desert.
I like going back and watching. So that's a remake, hey? Hills Have Eyes.
I think so.
Yeah, a lot of those were in the mid 2000s. They were redoing a lot of those really edgy 70s movies that were way more inappropriate in the 70s than they are now. It was like, oh my god, yeah. Hereditary. Have you seen Hereditary or Heredity?
No.
Hereditary. Yeah.
That was the scariest movie I've seen in the last 3 or 4 years for sure. It really gets to you. Yeah,
I might have.
It deals with loss, and it deals with, you know, kids dying and things. So it's tough. It's really And it's how about one that gets me every time. And you talk about watching movies different over the years. Pet Cemetery. So
I've been.
Yeah.
See that. Yeah.
You never seen the original even, or
I saw it when I was a kid.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, not a kid, but you know.
Yeah,
I
But
never
that
had
one scene where the
yeah.
kid's under the bed, oh, that always. Ugh.
go back and watch it now, and you're like, okay, it was scary before, but holy shit, the whole losing a kid thing, and then
Oh.
yeah, it was. Oh, it's worse. Yeah,
It's different.
It is. It's different. When
Yes,
you,
and yeah, Becky's right about that. Watch the original, not the new one for
original.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't
Yep.
seen the new one.
I haven't.
Yeah,
No.
no.
I don't even know that I ever saw Pet Cemetery because I've just never really been like seeking horror movies.
That's funny. Have you guys Stephen King fans at all, or no?
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to read a lot of his books. I know nothing of his new work, but
He's
since
had a
the
renaissance the last
late
10
90s.
years. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he from about 2008, I think from about Under the Dome up, he's incredible again. I don't know what happened. Just ignore a little bit of his liberal left wing whatever.
Yeah, you're gonna get that.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, I'm a big fan of The Stand. But I like the 94 miniseries. The new one was awful if you've seen it on HBO.
Oh,
I
really?
didn't see the new one, but yeah, I actually read that book. That was one
Why
of the
do they
ones I
gotta
got
be
through.
redoing
That might have been
stuff?
like one of
That's
the
what
last books I read of his.
bothers me. They're just like remaking everything, you know? And I'm like, stop.
Yeah. I mean, certain things that's fine. Take the
Some
idea of a
things,
crummy movie
sure.
and try to make it better.
Okay,
but when you
but-
take a great movie, it's like,
yeah.
oh man, that's a
Mhm.
gamble.
Yeah.
I had a professor in college. His name's Dave Troughton, and he taught literature of the Western world, and he turned it into a film class just because he could, which I loved. And so he let me audit it 2 years in a row just so I could watch the movies with him again. And he
Nice.
always said, why don't they take, he said, instead of remaking Miracle on 34th Street for the 45th time, he
Mhm.
said, why don't they take and remake a shitty movie and try to make it better?
Yeah. That's fine.
Can't lose.
Quit
Yeah,
taking the
You
greats.
can, but you can't
yeah,
do
quit
worse.
taking the good ones. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anything with Amber Heard is a garbage
It's a
fire.
garbage fire.
Oh, she's such a bad actress, poor girl. But yeah, it is what it is. Somebody says they need to remake Battlefield Earth too. Couldn't get any worse than that. The first time around was just horrible. Oh my god.
Maybe they make it better.
So have you guys introduced your kids to any movies lately, or like what do you remember first time any of them have got to see any of your favorites?
Well, we got the Disney Plus for one of our movie nights because there was like a free thing, and it was the easiest way to get the movie. So we signed up for that Disney Plus, and then my kid started binging all the Marvel stuff, which he's just getting to that age where I'm okay with it.
The Marvel
Yeah,
stuff,
I'm overwhelmed by it. It's
but
like, I don't know where to start. What should I watch?
we had our oldest watch, and this was and he's 13 now, but this was several years ago. But Princess Bride, and he loved that movie.
Oh yeah,
and that was one of Dave's.
yeah. I love forcing the kids to like watch something that's great.
Oh,
and they
and
don't.
you had them watch the Never-Ending Story.
Yeah.
And they were all kind of like, "Oh, Dad,
Never-Ending
why
Story.
You gonna have us watch Why you gotta have us watch this?" And then as soon as it was over, they're all like, "Can you put that on again?"
Can we watch that again? Oh.
So, but like I did have, I think, have they all seen Goonies? You know,
I don't know if they all sat through it.
Yeah. But Transformers is
That's
the
the
next
next
one
one.
we're gonna watch with David because he's 13 and it's not so much like the maybe scariness of it, but like the Megan Fox aspect.
Megan Fox, yeah.
I'm like, well, just hold off on that for
Man,
a little
she
bit
just
longer.
train wreck now, but
Oh,
Transformers smoking.
yeah.
It was also a very good movie. Like the fun, like
Yeah,
yeah.
that's one you want to see on like a big screen.
Yeah.
Like Lord of the Rings.
There's very, very few movies. So I remember when we took Mackenzie, our oldest boy, to go see it in theaters. And there's that one scene in it where it does like this pan around and all the Transformers are transforming at once.
Mhm.
And you knew you were seeing something special. I still get chills thinking about it. Like it was just one of those few things, right? Like I'm like, wow, they finally did it, and I'm watching something special.
My mid-80s heart.
Yeah, it does. Oh, it was awesome. I was
Back when they were selling toys to us on Saturday morning.
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah, and the first one was good, and second one was okay, and then they just kind of, how most of that stuff does.
Yeah.
We introduced the girls. We start them young, but we watched the Lord of the Rings back. I don't know. They were probably 6 maybe when we showed them all those.
I know. Did they stick around for it?
Yeah,
I mean,
loved it.
It's a long movie,
Yeah. Lord of the Rings. You know what else I did? And Charlotte still loves them. I'm a big silent movie guy, so I used to like Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, no.
The General Buster Keaton. So I showed them a bunch of those. They really enjoyed those back when they were
bet.
just little. And Charlie used to do the stupid Charlie Chaplin walk, the feet out, do. It was so cute. Yeah, they still, if you ask them, they still say they like Charlie Chaplin. I always thought that was
That's
cool.
Hi to
so
Tim.
cool. That is super cool.
He's a Canadian too, wasn't he? Or no, that's Terrence and Phillip, isn't it?
Yeah, you know the Canadians
Terrence
because their
and
heads
yeah.
split in half.
Their heads.
Right.
I don't know what that's a thing.
I don't either.
Works for me.
Come on, buddy. Hey, guy.
Hey,
No,
guy.
oh, buddy.
Napoleon Dynamite is another one.
The kids love
The
that.
kids love
I wasn't.
that movie.
I wasn't sure if that was going to hit,
Mhm.
and then David watched it like 3 times. Chris says it's his favorite
You
movie.
can't wait to watch it
That
again.
movie should not be funny. It shouldn't be. I don't understand why it's
Yeah.
funny, but it does it for me every time.
It just
Yep.
is.
You
Yeah.
quote it all the
It's
time.
like the awkwardness, just the
Gosh.
moments. Yeah, like you know, like,
So
Get
awesome.
your own freaking tater tots.
right?
You
Yeah,
ever take that over any sweet jumps? Like
right.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. There's
Charlotte
something
loves
about
Mean
it.
Girls. She started watching Mean Girls
like
and
that
watched
movie.
Oh,
yeah. So one afternoon she's like, "Hey Dad, you want to watch Mean Girls?" I'm like, "I've never seen it." Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? It wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then later, I think it was the same day or a different day, we watched The Reanimator, her and I was like, "Do you guys know that movie? The 80s like the
Sounds
guy."
familiar.
Yeah, anyway, there was some inappropriate stuff in it. I was like, "Charlie, just close your eyes for a minute, sweetheart." Yeah. It was like an 80s horror movie. I was like, "Oh, okay. Yeah."
Oh my.
That
Yeah.
one podcast I listen to that comes up a lot. How like we're more willing to show our kids like somebody get cut in half than a nipple, which is
Yeah.
weird.
I know.
So weird. Like, oh, that's okay. You can
see that blood pool.
compress that, and deal with that. But like, whoa, little bush there.
Yep.
Yeah, I know, right? So speaking of stuff like that, we watched The Boys on Amazon. Have you guys
Oh
seen?
my gosh.
Everybody's talking about
Everyone's
it.
talking about it. We got to start watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I read the comic years ago, and I love the comic. Garth Ennis, he wrote Preacher as well. Do you guys know the show Preacher? Dominic, that was on AMC for quite a while. It came on after Walking Dead. Anyway,
I think so.
it was and it's so good. And we just started the first episode of season 3 last night. Wow, they just keep pushing the envelope. There was some there was some Johnsons flinging around in this one.
That's what I hear. A lot
Oh
of
my gosh.
weens.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I didn't
And-
hear about the weens. I just
Yeah,
heard
that's
about
why I wasn't sure if I
just
wanted to watch it yet, so I haven't let her in on.
It is the best.
I just heard it's crazy.
It is the best superhero show out there. Period. And
Really?
the satire is so scathing. It's so good. Like it's
Oh,
just
gosh.
it's so on point. Like even to the point where we're sitting there and we're like, the main character's ordering something on Amazon, and I'm like, that's because it's an Amazon show, right? And they're even letting them kind of make fun of themselves. Is really cool. Like it's and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot that's taboo on that show. It's kind of
That's
interesting.
what I've heard. Yeah, that nothing is off the
Like
table.
I'm sure there's stuff in the comic that won't make the TV because certain things nowadays aren't appropriate as they were in the early 2000s.
Again, it's
but
weird.
I know.
What isn't?
Yeah, what's
It's like, oh, you might hurt somebody's feelings there. That guy just got his arm cut off. It's like, that's
You
fine.
can show a miniature guy crawl up the inside of somebody's
Yeah.
jump, but don't call somebody the R word or we're all in trouble, right? So,
Yeah. It's strange where things have gone.
yes, the boys. Yeah, there's somebody asked what show. It's The Boys.
Okay. Oh, hi Jamie.
Jamie. Dang it.
I see people over there in the chat. Just want to say hi to everybody.
Is
over there.
that sounds really loud to
It
me. I
sounds
hope I'm
loud
not
to
blowing
me.
everybody's eardrums out.
It wasn't too bad. It was loud, but it wasn't obnoxiously loud. So what
I can't
other?
help it, like, when
Yeah,
people
what
come
other
up, I'm like,
movies?
hit the button.
What do you like? What are your other go-tos? So we have certain ones. So Becky and I have this. We joke, back especially when we had cable or whatever. There was for certain movies, if you flip by them, you had to stop and you just watch them.
Yeah.
Like Day After Tomorrow, Independence Day, any of those giant end of the world type movies.
Yeah.
In 2012, 2012's Becky's one of her favorites for sure.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, it just literally left my mind. Like I can see it, but I can't see it. But what's that zombie movie that we like? Zombieland.
Yeah.
Zombieland.
Oh, so
I love that
right.
movie. I could watch it 100 times. Yeah.
I have an episode of my podcast coming up. So what I've been doing lately is I did prepping tips from Red Green. Do you guys remember the Red Green show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I just take
They don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
right. So I picked like 20 of his favorite quotes, and then I like loosely adapted them into prepping lessons. So it's just hilarious and fun. So
Duct tape.
one of mine coming up is I'm going to do the rules of survival from Zombieland. So yeah, I'm kind of excited. Oh, Dawn of the Dead, the remake. We love the remake. Yes.
And the Shaun of the Dead also.
We love that.
Yeah.
Fucking love Shaun of the Dead.
Those guys are so funny.
Hot Fuzz.
Yep.
Really
funny.
Simon Pegg is like we've seen. He's in The Boys, the guy from Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, is he really?
He really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
He plays the dad, and he's in his mid-50s now, so that makes me feel a little old.
Oh my gosh! Wait, he's in his mid-50s.
Yeah, he was just going to the pub yesterday.
Let's just go down for a pint and wait for this all to blow over.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Yeah, I like him. Yeah.
There you go. Guys are finally following.
Movie,
I'm watching you.
That movie is they're funny together. They play off each other really, really well.
And that first one was lightning in a bottle. Like there's the other ones were good, but there's nothing. Yeah, the Winchester, Becky says. Yeah. But that first one, you can watch that. It just never gets old.
I know.
So perfect. Like he's like, the reluctant hero. And he's so pathetic. You're like, oh, I feel bad. But
Now, see, maybe, and this might be a little bit from my dad, but like The Shooter.
That's a great
Shooter.
Mark Wahlberg?
Shooter, yeah.
That's a great movie.
Man, it just makes me want to be a sniper, but not for the government.
Just to be that badass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's just, I like that kind of stuff's fun too. I enjoy like suspense, and I'm not so much into, I know I said like Father of the Bride, but I'm not really into like drama. Yeah. Like romance, that kind of stuff.
I don't like drama at all.
Comedy, I need Dave to be with me to watch it.
Horror.
I can't watch comedy.
Oh yeah, we have to experience
Dave.
that together.
Yeah. I can't laugh by myself. I'm like, this isn't even, not having fun.
It's really hard to find a good comedy. They're so few and far between. Like, like for every Super Troopers, there's like 100 that are just, yeah. Meow, what are you saying exactly? That one gets me. I'll see how many times. Yeah. So you said your dad watched Arnold Schwarzenegger movies?
Yeah. There was a lot of, Arnold and, like I said, Steven Seagal, Hunt for Red October, like Sean Connery and stuff, so, and I just would be like there. I didn't maybe always stick around, but I know when those types of movies pop up on the wheel, I'm like, I know I've seen this with my dad.
That's what I love, because we have a movie wheel that we spin every Friday night at our normal show. And then Sunday we watch the movie on Twitch. Now it used to be Float, but Float kind of got janky. But Twitch is cool because they haven't caught us yet. And then
we're just watching movies with friends. It's as if we're in our living room.
You're not monetizing it, right? Which
no, not
second channel
not that second channel.
I'm like, don't even subscribe. We don't want anybody to know about this channel. Like,
I get it.
That's our second channel.
But I love when those 80s actions come up on that wheel. I'm like, oh, I love that stuff.
Yeah. What was the one we just watched with Arnold? And oh my gosh,
was it Arnold?
Yeah. Well, not just the other day, but
was it Commando?
Commando. Yeah.
So I was just going to ask you what your favorite Arnold movie is, because mine is Commando. I've seen that one more than that movie when he takes on the entire army by himself. Yeah. It's such a bad film.
Yeah.
I watched Terminator more in my so I'm more into that, but I love all those Rambo, Commando,
1 or 2.
Yeah.
Terminator 1 or 2.
I mean, 1 hits more. I haven't seen 2 as many times as I've seen 1, but 2 is solid.
See, I saw 2 before I saw 1. So Terminator 2 is my Terminator for some reason. Okay. And so when I went back to watch Terminator 1, I'm like, yeah, okay, I like it, but I didn't love it, And so Terminator 2, I've been a Terminator junkie like for years. I watched all the other movies, and I'm just like, okay, just make one more good one, and they just never.
How many do they have? Because I don't think I've seen them all. I do that. I'm horrible with that. I don't think I've seen the last Matrix.
No, don't bother. I won't watch it. I've heard it's horrible. Yeah, like, well, actually, really. to me, there's no Matrix after the first one anyway. I didn't like the other sequels, but that's a whole other story.
I remember really liking the fight scenes in Matrix 2. Like,
they were cool.
Got me jacked. Yeah.
But yes. So Becky and I just went and watched RoboCop in theater the other night. So the original RoboCop, we were in Edmonton. I think
that was brutal too.
Yeah. And it was the director's cut, so it has the extra couple scenes where Buddy's hand gets blown off with the and they hold on. Oh yeah, it's just great. I love Paul Verhoeven. He did RoboCop. He did well, he did Showgirls, but that one doesn't count. Oh my God, what is wrong with me? The other Arnold movie where he goes to Mars.
I can't.
They redid it. Yeah. So
somebody
will say it. Yeah.
Tell that I'm half out of it because Starship Troopers. So he did RoboCop, Starship Troopers, and the other one.
We watched
Total Recall. There we go.
We watched that, didn't we?
I feel like we did.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, there we go. Yep.
And I don't know if I had to pick between RoboCop and Total Recall. Boy, it's a tough one. I love them both. I probably RoboCop because I grew up in I don't know how to put it, but like a fairly conservative Christian home. But as I got closer to my teen years, my parents kind of relaxed with their stuff. So I used to have to rent movies and, they wouldn't know what I was watching. So a lot of that RoboCop and things were some of the early ones I rented.
Yeah.
And loved it.
I remember wanting, every time we would go to the movie rental place, I would say, 12 Monkeys? No, not 12 Monkeys. What was that? It wasn't 12 Monkeys. It was what was that? Oh gosh.
I'm gonna need more hints.
Oh no, it was because they were eating monkeys' brains or something.
They did that in Indiana Jones.
But it was something. There was can anybody remember what it was called? It was something I think it had the word death in it. But it was all this
Faces
weird
of
stuff.
Death.
Faces of Death.
Oh.
Yeah, where people jumped off, to bungee jump,
real life death
died,
scenes.
Which now you can find on them.
Yeah, you can find that anywhere now. But when you were a kid, you had to go to some dude's house. Yeah, I was at
10 or 11, and I'm like, Dad, can we get Faces of Death? I heard it's crazy, and he's like, nope. Yeah. Probably best, for me.
That's the one where the lady's walking down the street and the chimney collapses on her.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I never got to see any of those.
The only ones I remember is the person bungee jumping and they forgot to take in the count that there was no 13th floor or something like that.
Okay.
So
I remember hearing about it.
I
remember hearing, and I was just like, Dad, we gotta rent this. It's gonna be so great. And he's like, no. And I was like, okay, I'll get get Willy Wonka.
I had a good friend that was he'd failed a couple of times, so he was a couple years older than me, so he had a much easier time getting a hold of stuff like that at the rental. Yeah. Plus, he also worked there toward their last couple years of high school. So
you got your in right there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You guys remember the whole how much fun was it going to the video store? I know our kids will never even when we first moved to Alberta about 10 years ago, there was still a video store here. We'd go sometimes just for the nostalgia of it, but it wasn't the same. We had Netflix and, but
I know the feeling of walking
in. We had earn that stuff, It's
there was
all right, you guys do this and then we'll take you to
places.
When Giant Eagle had one that we used to always go to.
Oh, okay. We always went to Real Entertainment, and I don't even know if that was a locally owned place or if that was had a bunch of different store locations around the country. I have no idea, but that's one of the places we would go. And then Movie Stop was another one downtown. And that one had a second floor. So I was always we go up the stairs. That was so cool. Just for some reason, having that second floor was so neat. I don't know.
And then Family Video hung on forever. They're the last
ones. They tried.
Yeah. They did, didn't they? We never had a Family Video. I don't think we had Family Video in Canada, but we did have Blockbuster. But they never made it to my town. So my little town, we had what was called Long Branch Rental, and they rented movies and lawn care equipment. So,
wow, what a combination!
Yeah. So you go in, and now, of course, all that's left there is they're still open. They still have their old signs up, but all they have now is cement mixers and that kind of stuff, right? But so they had they had 3 floors actually, but the upstairs was rental equipment. And then, but it was an old building. And then you went downstairs, and to the left was all the horror movies, and to the right was the curtain. Of course, you remember the curtain? Yeah.
Family Video had that.
Yeah.
Which was weird. Family Video, and then they had this curtain in this little back corner.
I never. Well,
so awkward. Yeah, I've never rented.
No, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Long Branch, they had, if you rent 2 new releases, you got an old one for free. I think it was $6.
Nice.
So you got 2 VHS or 3 VHS, and if you rented them on Saturday, you get to keep them till Monday. So you'd have them for the whole weekend. It was,
Oh man, I am just feeling like
nostalgia.
I am in my feels right now about this, because then you had that purpose of like, we're watching these movies, guys. We're doing a movie weekend, and
my cousin would always rent video games, like when that started. So we video games on the weekend, and it's like, okay, I'm at your house all weekend. You're gonna play the game. I'm gonna be your co-player and read the book.
Super Nintendo was my jam. I had, Nintendo, yes, but Super Nintendo is when I really get into renting. And I would rent. They had, you could rent for the weekend or you could rent for the whole week. And once in a while, Mom would spring for the whole week. But what would happen? She'd get so mad. I remember she bought me Donkey Kong Country for Christmas, and it was like $100 back in the mid '90s, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And I beat it in like 2 days. She was so mad. She's like,
"Oh my gosh!"
She's like, "Why aren't you playing that game?" I'm like, "Well, I beat it." She's like, "Well, play it again."
Oh, it's
now do it with your.
Swole had the same thing that we have here.
With your eyes closed.
Because they did the same thing around here.
Oh, okay. Towards the end, they had
What's the pizza place?
We have Marco's Pizza.
Yes, but they still had the window in between, and then I think, and then if you ordered the pizza delivered to your house, they'd take the movie back for you.
Yeah.
Really? What a slick little idea. I like that.
Yeah. Always really nice too, because for some reason getting the movies back.
That's the hardest part
for us, anyway.
It's like that red box, $1 video rental. Yeah, that's going to cost me $6.
The red box, yeah.
It blows me away that they even still, that is still a thing. I see red boxes around still, and I'm like, I guess some people must still use them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, like my parents, I don't think they have high-speed internet, so it's like, if they want to get a movie,
maybe that's what they do. Yeah.
It's like
really?
I think they're out. They got fields, so it's like. I think they can get like a dish or something like that. I swear I saw like somebody advertising something now.
Yeah.
I think it's starting to reach out there, but
I hope so.
We've got fiber coming to our town.
I see the people around. I'm like, come over here.
It's cool because it's a local couple of guys. They're in their early 20s that have, I don't know how they're leasing the fiber lines or whatever. They're paying for everything themselves, putting the whole install in. So people want to support them because they're a local business or a local company. Yep. It's like,
absolutely.
That's kind of what's happening here. I mean, that whatever they are.
I don't know who it is,
but they're not a big business. They're just like a local business. That's neat.
Yeah. But we need like so many people in the neighborhood who want to have it in order to get it, so
that's what, I think they needed some people to commit ahead of time and, but it was, I'm excited. We're excited.
I would love it.
We're one street over from the first install. So we're missing it for right now. But
but you're so close.
We are. Yeah. It's like the next back alley over.
Yeah.
I wrote on my list, look into fiber, because it could be here and I just haven't.
Oh, there you go. Look into fiber under all the movies that you recommended.
I don't know how many other ones. Yeah, there's so many. So what did I ask you what your favorite, or did you tell me what your favorite Arnold movie was?
You said Terminator.
Oh, yeah,
I'd probably have to say too. I mean, I guess probably just from
it's the most prolific one for us.
Yeah. But I did enjoy that one the other day too. That was a lot of fun.
You guys ever walk out of a theater because the movie was so bad? Or do you guys go to the theater ever?
Not very often.
No. Not a lot anymore. I did just take the little kids to see Minions because their older brother was going to his friend's house and they were going to be having so much fun. And I was like, well, why don't we go do something fun? Like, let's go see a movie. So, but I don't think I've ever left in the middle of a movie. I was like, I paid for this and I'm going to just be miserable to the very end.
I might not have paid attention during the movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'll just take a nap.
I went years ago and watched Dude, Where's My Car? Do you remember that stupid
comedy? Yeah. Oh boy,
I went out and got my money back. I was half hour in. I'm like, only time I've ever done it in my life. It was so bad.
I think I might have only watched that one once, maybe.
Yeah, but we also enjoy stupid comedy sometimes.
What's the one? Old School. I love that one.
That wasn't bad with Will Ferrell, right?
Yeah. Yep. Just a lot of just funny moments in that one that just make me like
very
giggle,
quotable.
But yeah.
I got to bring this one up here just because it's so inappropriate.
Oh,
But,
Carl.
just hit refresh, dude. I'm sure you'll be fine.
That's Carl. We love Carl.
Do you guys mind if we wrap it up? I'm
That's
surprised.
fine.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I can.
no, it's cool. I didn't know if I'd last an hour, and normally I'd go about 4 with you guys, but I got to apologize to everybody, but I don't even know if tomorrow is going to happen for the next show. But would you guys want to come back on and do a follow up?
Yeah, we'll do
Oh
it
my
again.
gosh, we would love
you're feeling
it.
better.
This went by so fast.
It
I
did.
mean,
I know.
it went by so fast.
And we're gonna get ready for our movie night.
Yeah, we're
which
gonna
is
do our
coming up.
movie night.
Plug the hell out of it. So how can people find you?
Yeah, that's tonight is our movie night. We watch it on our movie Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/LLN movie night, all one word. That's the one we don't really do anything with except
just
watch movies.
Yeah, hang out with friends.
But tonight we're watching
Animal
House.
Mhm.
That came up on the wheel. I'm like, so we had to get a little alcohol for that one because that one's
I had
mandated.
planned on coming and watching the movie with you and drinking some bourbon, but I mean,
Oh yeah,
anyway, but the next time I promise I will. Yeah.
Oh, and I'm just thanks for working through everything.
Yeah, I can't believe you're
hanging
on
out
here.
with us
Yeah.
for this long because
we know those feels, man.
like I said, I was like 15 minutes into the show and I'm like, I gotta go to sleep. I'm not feeling good.
Yeah.
Our main show is Friday nights
Yes.
on Facebook, YouTube. We're most active on Twitch. We love Twitch. It's very interactive. We play games and stuff on there sometimes. So that's twitch.tv/Liberty Late Night, all one word.
We're super interactive with the comment section.
Yeah, that's our whole show.
And we have the comments usually popping up on our screen on Friday nights.
Like the whole feed.
Just come in and hang out. We just like to chat and talk with people. Sometimes we interview folks like Tim, right? And we have a great time. And then sometimes we're just hanging out with the comment section.
We'll play games or do reviews of mayonnaise or something weird like that. I did a mayonnaise taste, and I found out that Aldi's mayo is just as good as Hellman's. Maybe not quite as, but it was like second place out of all the mayos. We tried Duke's, we tried store brand, and
Hellman's is my favorite.
I tried it. Yeah,
I love it.
And Hellman's is, and I guess down south that's Best Foods or something they call it.
I don't know. Yeah, it is.
It's a different name. Yeah, it's weird.
I saw we were in an Aldi in Florida, but is that? Yeah, Becky and I went to one, and it was first one we've ever been in.
Condiments are good.
Their mayonnaise is good.
Vegan mayo.
That's what I look forward to.
We'll have to do. I'd planned on kind of doing more of a collaborative thing, you know what I mean, between both of us tonight, but it just it was just what it was.
I had a great time. Thanks for having us.
No,
seriously.
thank you guys. Yes, I'm actually in about 2 weeks. I'm working my schedule through for the next 3 months, so I'll slide you guys on early on if you want, and when I'm 100%, we'll have a hell of a better time for sure.
Oh, this is
we
great.
had fun. We had fun.
This is
We're
really
looking
good.
forward to coming back.
Cool. Thanks, guys. And Apartment Prepper just come on, said she missed it. The replay will be there. So, but if you want to hang in the back for just 1 second, I'll close up and then. Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Well, guys, that was awesome. I thank you for sticking with us. Sorry I wasn't 100% tonight, but we had a great episode. I always love Dave and Mary. They're kindred spirits. I enjoy chatting with them. And we'll have them back again when we can do justice to this topic for sure. So anyway, guys, as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.